because I had babies in my 20s, 30s, and 40s. And so at 44, to be able to say, hey, today I want to do this and then do it, there is really like a liberation in that that's hard to describe.
You know, just judging by your social media and everything like that, you seem to be in a really, really happy place in your life. I mean, how has your life changed since being so open about your sexuality?
I mean, first of all, I'm coming to you live from Brooklyn. So let's just start with that. You know, I've become bi-coastal, and that has been a huge change. You know, I joke that, you know, Vicky told me you can't date men and women, you have to pick one. I'm like, okay, so I did. And Kelly Dodd was like, if you don't like it there, move. I'm like, okay, so I did. So right now I'm doing the back and forth with Sean and I. We're doing the bird nesting parenting, and I love it. So I get to come into the city and be Braunwyn, you know, and I get to be with my girlfriend, and then I get to go home and be a full-time mom to the kids there. So it's amazing.
Yeah. I mean, what would you say is the best thing about living life as an openly gay woman now?
I can just breathe. It's hard to describe how, when you're not living your life as authentically as you could, how much that weighs on you in ways that I didn't even understand. And to be able to walk down the street holding, you know, Vic's hand, it just lights me up from the inside. You know, I'm so grateful that it's almost like a second chance at life. This is a whole new chapter. My life was on a trajectory, and I kind of thought, that's it. That's, you know, where everything's going to end up. And lo and behold, I'm doing things and experiencing things that I never in a million years would have thought possible.
How is this relationship with Victoria different than anything you've experienced before?
I mean, one, you know, she's a woman.
Yeah, right. There's that.
Let's start with that. And she's just, you know, she's just amazing. So she works a lot. She's gone a lot. So there's definitely some hurdles with that, because we live on different sides of the country. She travels she's on a plane right now from Dubai.
Wow.
But with that, I've had a lot of time to be by myself. So I've been in New York by myself this past week, and it turns out I actually love being alone. You know, I didn't even know that, because even at home, I'm always surrounded by kids or Sean or something. Like, I actually like getting a chance to just be Braunwyn. You know, that to me has been I'm no one's wife, no one's daughter, no one's mom. I can sleep in if I want. I go to the grocery store with one little bag and just fill it with what I want to eat. I wander the streets of New York. I mean, it's so amazing. Yeah. It's so amazing. And Victoria has been great. You know, she really came into a situation that is complicated, to say the least. And she's done it with such grace and such understanding. So I'm really, really lucky.
Yeah, I mean, that's got to be such a liberating experience. You're like, no kids, nothing. I can just be me for a second and just breathe.
It is, because I had babies in my 20s, 30s, and 40s. And so at 44, to be able to say, hey, today I want to do this and then do it, there's really like a liberation in that that's hard to describe.
Yeah. How do your kids feel about everything?
Could you be more specific?
Yeah, sorry. You're like, there's a lot going on. How did your kids feel about you coming out and being in a public relationship with somebody other than their dad?
It depends on the kid. So they haven't all taken it the same. My oldest daughter, Bella, she's still struggling with it. Not with the fact that I'm dating a woman, because we are a very open family. You know, we've always been big supporters of the LGBTQ community. Even before they could walk, we were going to marches in DC when they were in strollers. So that wasn't the issue. I think it's hard for Bella to see me or Sean dating anyone else, just because, you know, she's 21. She grew up with a certain family, and, you know, that's close to her heart. My second daughter, Rowan, she's part of the community. She loves Vic. They get along great. Jacob is a 16-year-old boy. He's like, whatever, I don't care. And the little kids, you know, as far as they know, it's just more people that love them. And that's sort of how Sean and I have presented this to them. Our family isn't splitting up. Our family is growing.
I love that. And how would you define your relationship with Sean now?
It's good. It's good. There was definitely some hurdles, some bumps in the road. We had to work through some really hard things. And there's been some really trying times, but right now it's really good. We're co-parents, we're partners in life. You know, we're definitely working towards the same goals and we're getting along really well. We're friends. I think at the end of the day, we're best friends.
Yeah, no, definitely. I think the last time we spoke, and I think you may have said it in interviews, that divorce is not on the table. Is that still the case? Do you still want to remain legally married to Sean?
I think now that more time has passed and we're both, you know, dating other people, I'm a little more like, okay, eventually probably we will get divorced. Eventually someone's going to want to get remarried. Someone we're dating won't be comfortable with the situation. I understand that. And that's totally, reasonable. For now, we absolutely do not. We don't see a reason to. There's just no, for us, there's no reason. Now, down the line, is that a possibility? Absolutely.
Yeah. Do you want to get married again?
I do.
You do? Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you want more kids in the future?
I don't. Yeah. No. I am good. But if I was with someone, I have had this conversation before. Yeah. You know, Vic doesn't have children. She would love to have one day. That is something we will discuss later on down the road. But I am so good.
I'm sure 7 is a lot. I mean, I have 2 and I can barely keep my head on straight.
And, keep in mind, Bella's the same age that I was when I had babies, and she lives with her boyfriend, and they plan on getting married. So it's not that crazy that I'm going to be a grandma in 5 years. So yeah, I am just fine waiting 5 more years for someone else to have a baby.
That is totally fine. Now, does Victoria blend nicely in with the family? Does she and Sean get along? Does she and the kids get along?
She does. I don't spend too much time with all of them together because she is based out of New York. She does travel a lot for work. So she spent some time with them and it's been great. She hung out with Sean, just the 2 of them before, and they got along well. They have some work stuff in common. Yeah. But for the most part, when we're together, we're in New York and we're just focused on us.
Yeah. Is it hard watching Sean date other people, or are you happy for him to kind of explore other relationships?
I mean, it's not an either or, both. I can say, yeah, both. I'm happy for him. I really want him to fall in love. I want him to find that. Is it hard? Of course. We were together 27 years. But I am happy for him.
I think you opened up in an interview recently about your sex life. Is it still just as spicy as you said it was?
I mean, she's been gone the past week, so no, but she lands in about 30 minutes. So, yeah, I mean, she's gorgeous.
She is.
I don't know if you've seen photos of her, but she's quite possibly the most beautiful woman ever. So, and it's so new for me and exciting. I used to think that there was something wrong with me because I didn't love like that. I didn't have the passion like that. And, it took me coming out and meeting the right person to realize I wasn't broken. I was gay.
Yeah, no, and like you said before, I'm sure that it was almost like a weight lifted off your shoulders in so many different ways too.
So many.
Yeah. Yeah, no, definitely. You said being the first gay housewife wasn't easy. What were some of the biggest challenges and obstacles that you feel you had to face during that time?
I think the biggest part was the disbelief. So many people at the time were like, you did this for storyline. It's not real. And I'd faced that with my sobriety too.
Right, I remember.
And so here we are coming out of a pandemic. I was obviously doing a lot of work on myself with sobriety, working the steps. And, we were in our homes for 6-7 months. And the viewers at the time didn't see any of that. That was just me being there. And so I was doing the work on myself. And so coming out saying, I'm gay, and then people make it into something bad or selfish. That was a lot I got too. Like, how dare you have a nice man at home? How dare you do that to your children? And being gay isn't something you do to other people. It's something you do, and you live for yourself. And I think that was the hardest part. It really has taken me, and this is one of the reasons OC Pride has been so important to me, because it's a validation of sorts. I see you, I embrace you. That was tough. And being in a town where there's not that many queer women, that wasn't always easy. When I was dating Fernanda at the time, we would go out and we would get a lot of comments. Oh, that's so hot. Oh, I want to get in on that. And it's like, my sexuality and who I'm dating isn't for your amusement. And there is a lot of that kind of that guys have this idea that it's, for them in Newport Beach, especially. I'm so lucky that does not happen in Williamsburg.
Oh, definitely. I mean, what does that kind of do to your mental health, or did that affect your sobriety at all? Because not only are you coming out for the first time, but you're also having a public relationship with a woman for the first time. And a lot of people can judge that. I mean, how did that take a mental toll on you?
I mean, I think my sobriety is a day-to-day thing. There's always going to be bumps in the road. There's always going to be things that try. Even just what we're dealing with a country in the last few weeks, that has been hard. There's been moments you're like, what's the point? I have a good program. I have a good support system. And I always say, for me, the triggers to drink aren't what you think they're going to be. Yeah. It's not the big moments. Sometimes the little quiet ones, cooking dinner, and you're like, ooh, a glass of water. So it's hard to say if it affected my sobriety because, obviously I'm still like 856 days sober.
Congrats.
But I think we've all struggled the last few years. And I've been very vocal about all of that, the mental health issues that me and my family have gone through. We have gotten through them. I will say now that the world is opening up, we're going back to routine, we're all doing so much better. Coming out when you're older, hard. There's a lot of my friends that are good friends. We're like, oh, it's just a phase. Things like that. Oh, you'll go back to Sean. And at the end of the day, it's like, okay, believe whatever you want. I'm not living my life for you anymore. I'm living my life for me and for my family and for, my girlfriend. And that's all that really matters.
Yeah, no, definitely. And, remember on the OC, I know Kelly made jokes about your sexuality. Emily called you selfish for exploring your sexuality. Did you ever get an apology from any one of them?
No.
Were you hoping to get one?
No, I'm a realist.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you ever run into Kelly in OC since the show?
I haven't. I actually haven't. So, but part of that's because when I go home and I'm with the kids, I don't really go out in Orange County anymore. When I'm home, I'm 100% home.
Yeah. Do you miss the show at all?
I do.
Yeah.
And I mean, parts of it. I don't miss the toxic part of it. I don't miss the fighting, the bringing women down. I miss the crew. I miss the excitement of getting mic'd up and filming. That to me is, that's fun. It is fun. And I miss that part of it. I've been pretty lucky that some other opportunities have come up where, I still get to do the fun parts and it's more on par with who I want to be and where I want to go.
Yeah. Were you disappointed that, Bravo didn't give you that other opportunity to kind of have, I don't want to call it like your redemption story, but like to see how you were on the other side of, dealing with the sobriety and everything else? Were you hoping to kind of have that moment?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Mm-hmm. You saw me getting sober, and getting sober is very hard. You saw me detoxing. And I think, I still to this day get so many people that are struggling with sobriety or trying to get sober that reach out to me. And I do wish we had done sobriety the service that it deserves, because getting sober and living sober are very different things. Mm-hmm. And I wish I had gotten to show everyone what living sober looks like, because it's beautiful.
Yeah, no, definitely. Did you watch this past season at all? Do you have any thoughts on it?
I didn't. And I can't, just because it was hurtful, it was hard to see my friends on there when I wasn't. I just didn't think it was a good choice. And now, honestly, I don't really watch any TV anymore because I'm just too busy.
Right. What did you think of Noella joining the cast?
I mean, I love Noella. We were very, very close. So and this had been a dream of her for like 8-9 years. So I was happy that her dream came true. I know she had a very hard year. I know she was struggling with a lot of things that were unexpected. I wish she had gotten more grace. I wish the viewers had gotten to see the side of her that I got to see.
Mm-hmm. Are the two of you still friends, or are you no longer friends anymore?
I don't know what we are, and I'm not really going to categorize it. I've reached out a couple of times. Mm-hmm. I love the guy she's dating. Bobby is a great guy. She blocked me on Instagram. We haven't had much contact, mm-hmm. but like our kids go to the same school. Mm-hmm. It's a small town. I'm still friends with her ex-husband, which is probably hard on her. I would imagine that could be a deal breaker. But I will never. I have hope that she'll be in my life again one day.
Yeah, definitely. Would you ever go back to the show?
No. No. Now that I've had time away from it to process it all, it wasn't a good fit for me.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I wasn't made to be a housewife. I'm an advocate. I love speaking up about LGBTQ stuff. Mm-hmm. I love advocating for, you know, women's rights to our bodies. There's a lot of things that I'm very passionate about, and drama and toxicity and finding secrets about people. None of those make the list. And it's hard to work a program, a 12-step program, and be on a show like that, because, you know, they're very discongruent.
Definitely. Would you hope that Bravo or, you know, Housewives show have more representation of the LGBTQ community?
I would love that. I think that there needs to be way more of that. I would love for there to be a trans housewife. Mm-hmm. You know, Riley Knox auditioned for Potomac. She was good friends with Monique. And I think that would be a great thing. I think the thing we have to realize, though, that it's not the responsibility of Bravo.
Of course, yeah. Mm-hmm.
We have to start changing the viewers. Mm-hmm. You know, Bravo can't change the world. We have to change the world, and then Bravo will follow suit.
I love that. I think that's so true. Hi, everyone, I'm Christina Garibaldi, the host of Us Weekly Celebrity Coverage. Don't forget to hit subscribe for the latest celebrity news, tips, and video. And for much more content, make sure you head on over to usmagazine.com, the official home of Us Weekly Magazine.